Hey, welcome back. So it was my birthday a while back, and I got like the most fabulous birthday present ever. I know somebody's gonna appreciate this, but I got a whole set of these huge metal mushrooms to go in the yard. I saw somebody on TikTok found them at like a Cracker Barrel, and we don't have Cracker Barrels around here, but someone that does have access to a Cracker Barrel got me like a whole set of these. And then when they brought them to me, I didn't realize this before, but I guess that they are, I don't know if you can see the lights up there. They're a solar lamp. And I am not too cool to put those directly in my front yard. So I'm planning like a pollinator garden out front, which will already make my suburban neighbors unhappy. So we'll just add to that by putting up some really big tacky mushroom yard lights. So a few videos ago, I posted that my community had a wonderful little witchy shop where they sold lots of fun witchy things and did free classes and free meetings. It was just a really great space to connect people that are into that sort of thing in the area. And I'm in a very conservative part of the USA, so finding things like that is like an absolute gem. And then the owner of the shop moved away, and so the shop closed. And a sign went up that something else was coming in, and I thought, oh good, somebody's going to step up and save this little witchy community. And when I read the sign, I was so dismayed because it wasn't going to be witchy retail like I was hoping, but just an office where somebody was going to be doing spiritual life coaching. And it's hard to put my finger on why. That we could just maybe talk about some of the impacts that life coaching has, but specifically life coaching that's targeted at our witchy community. So we can ask, what is life coaching? And I don't know if there's a clear answer, because we do know that there's not really any official mandatory prerequisite for becoming a life coach. Life coaching is an unregulated industry that doesn't require any sort of college degree, any work experience, or any specific certification. If you want to become a life coach, you can get those things, but you can also just declare that you're a life coach and hang up your shingle or open up your website. And there are programs out there where you can get a certificate to be a life coach, but those programs are also unregulated and unaccredited. So if you're willing to spend some time on online modules and you can spend between $1 or $3,000, then you too could print out a certificate showing that you are a certified life coach. And it's fine that it is unregulated, because life coaches are not medical professionals. They're not meant to give any sort of medical advice or therapy. But unfortunately, when a life coach is a spiritual life coach or has any sort of religious connotation, sometimes those lines can be blurred, because now you're dealing with a community that may have a lot of mistrust for professional licensed therapists. And it might be seen as a suitable replacement for therapy. And I'm not going to come in here and say that all life coaches are scammers, but if I was a scammer, it would be pretty easy for me to put up my life coaching website, because, you know, if you're scamming someone, you're wanting to target somebody that needs help, right? Somebody in a vulnerable situation. And that's the kind of person that's going to be seeking out a life coach. And if that person is skeptical of science-based medicine, they're really primed to be vulnerable to scams. Like, I could just get a web domain and watch my marks roll in. Okay, so what does that have to do with us and me here on this channel? Witchcraft is a growing movement, and when you combine spiritual life coaching and this like late stage capitalism, grind culture mindset, it gives me a little pause. A long while ago, I was scrolling through some kind of social media, and I happened upon a video where someone who likes to look into different type of witchy content was doing an interview on someone who was offering like how to become a witch classes. And, you know, that definitely piqued my interest. It was a really well-produced video. Everybody in the video was extremely beautiful, The witch class in question was taking place in a beautiful home. There was a moment in the class where they were doing like an anger ritual where they were like taking a broom and like bashing it up against a bed and like screaming to like get rid of like negative energies. And it was really dramatic, and it definitely like was attention grabbing. Now, that being said, I had also just listened to a podcast where they were talking about like anger therapy and like yelling, shouting, and breaking things to try to make yourself feel better when you were angry. And the science actually shows that that usually just makes you feel worse. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I followed this video to the witch that was giving the classes, and we're going to call her M. Because I don't think there's any reason to name anybody in this video. If you've consumed witchy-themed media, then you've seen something similar. There's a lot of people doing similar things out there. So if you go to her website, she is a self-professed spirit coach. And she does offer like a introductory witch class, completely online modules, and it is for the very reasonable price of $555 doll hairs. And if you want a personal coaching session where she'll actually talk to you, probably on like call, then that's going to run you $997 doll hairs. And you know, those are pretty specific, like magical angel-y numbers. I'm sure they're very magical. So I went on her website to try to find out more information about these classes just because of my morbid curiosity. And this is the little blurb. I'm going to read it right to you word for word so that nobody thinks that I'm trying to misquote anybody here. Do you remember when you believed you could create or accomplish anything you dreamed of? Okay, pause. Yes, I am a older millennial, and I'm from the generation that was told all through childhood that I could be and do anything that I wanted. So whether or not that was true or comes to pass, like that remains to be seen. But I think it just depends on which generation you're in as to whether or not you can identify with being a child who thinks that anything is possible. Anyway, back to the quote. When life was full of magic, life can be magic again. Magic with a K, of course. Because I wasn't always like this. It was a long road to remembrance, and my deep study of the craft has served me more than anything else in making my most magical life. As I worked tirelessly through my own shadows and wounds, the life of my dreams blossomed, and it is my deepest honor and pleasure to serve and support you on the same journey. And I think that's what I find really interesting, is that she believes that anyone can sort of recreate her success. That if people follow her techniques, then they will be able to go on, quote, the same journey. And I think that rubs me the wrong way, because making big promises when I am very skeptical that these things can be delivered. Oh, and you know, honestly, that's what these folks would say is my problem, and why I'm not successful is because of the skepticism, like, because I don't believe it 100%. But honestly, that's a trade I'm willing to make. If me being skeptical and not buying into something hook, line, and sinker makes it so that I can't achieve my fullest potential, then frankly, that's fine. I'll just not have my fullest potential then, because I just want to stay skeptical. Am I negative? No, I don't think I'm negative. Am I a realist? Probably not either. I'm doing my best. And that brings me to the second issue that I have is, like, not only are they making big promises, but also they're not really acknowledging any of their personal advantages. Like, she claims that everything that she has is due to magic. I even have a video clip where she just says, like, I have everything that I wanted because of magic.
So you said you, like, manifested this house?
I used magic to get everything that I have in my life.
And it's always like, oh, it's my own hard work, it's my own magic, this is why I have success. And honestly, I wish that she would just take 1 second to say, oh, also, I am conventionally extremely beautiful, I'm able-bodied, I, have support in my life. Like, there are definitely some rungs that she had already climbed on the ladder before she really started working towards her success. And that's not to downplay her success. Like, I'm sure she worked really hard for whatever she has. Like, yes, absolutely. But how can she expect us to replicate her success when she won't even admit some of the advantages that she started with? All right, so what are we getting for this cool $500? It's a 7-week course. Each week you get a module, and that module contains journaling prompts, some rituals, and some guided meditations, as well as a few activities. Okay, so yeah, she's created journal prompts, she's created rituals for you to go through. So you're thinking, okay, what are your qualifications that, makes you able to do this? Like, that sets you apart from the rituals and journaling prompts that I can find if I just Google exactly that. Can you hear those birds chirping? Oh my gosh. Finally, birds! Also, the sun is just being really, into the clouds and out of the clouds, so I'm sorry. If I'm a glowing ghost right now, I do apologize. Okay, right, so qualifications. What are her qualifications? Why do I go to this person and pay them cash dollars instead of just Googling this stuff? And so I looked, and I found that she does have a marketing degree from an accredited university, which, I can absolutely see that because her website is beautiful. Definitely knows what she's doing marketing-wise. And she obviously has a strong social media presence. Like before, when I told you I discovered her through this other video where she was being interviewed by somebody, I feel like that was all promotional and not just an organic interview that happened. But it was set up in a way that felt really organic. And I'm not just assuming that it was promotional. I mean, I got that feeling, but then when you look down in the description, the interviewer had a promo code to give a discount to the classes. So, I'm sure that they get a kickback for every class sign up that happens through that interview. But really, I searched and searched, and I couldn't find any clear qualifications what sets her aside as a spirit coach, besides, some personal anecdotes that she has. And if you get back into her older videos, she talks about how she started in the journey of witchcraft because of she was looking into quantum physics, and she cites the double slit experiment, which if you've been around the block in the woo community, you know that it's that experiment where matter, I think it's photons, if they're observed, they're a particle, and if they're not observed, they're a wave. Oof, that was it. Very incorrect. I'm very sorry. I am so sorry. Please do not come to me for physics information, and honestly, frankly, don't come to this person for physics information either, because I don't think they did any better of a job explaining it than I just did. And for those of you that have been around in the woo community, you've run into the law of attraction where people think that your thinking can change physical things around you, it can change physical things. And oftentimes that experiment is cited as proof. I think if you talk to a physicist, they would probably say that was not the intention of the experiment nor the conclusion of the experiment. Yeah, so she believes that she has physical control of her reality, so I'm sure that she cites that as a source for why you should take these classes from her. But also, if you go back through some of her older videos, she talks about communing with her spirit guide, like talking to real dragons in another plane of existence. And I don't want to come in here and say that, hey, you can't believe in dragons aren't real. You are 100% you. You do you. But just don't cite that as credentials of why you would be a good spirit coach or life coach. So I was recently contacted by another content creator who also has a life coaching self-help business. And my default for people contacting me for collaborations is always no. I've done a few collaborations, but they are with people who I know and trust and who I really respect, and not, just somebody that randomly contacts me and then I have to try to do research on them and figure out if they're a good person to be working with. That's really risky because I don't know their intentions, and I do not want to jeopardize what credibility you guys feel that I have. Not that you should feel that I have any credibility at all, but I don't want to risk that by just partnering with random people that contact me. Anyway, so the answer is always no, but I do like to look them up and research them a little bit, and it was really hard to, I found a lot of credentials on this person. This person seems very professional. They seem to, have a lot of experience in their career, and a really diverse set of experiences. And I did see where they had referred to themselves as an Akashic Records reader, and that's sort of that's a no for me. And if you're not that deep into the woo, I will tell you what the Akashic records are. It's sort of this huge library type situation. I mean, I'm sure people would not say that was like physical books. It's on another plane of existence. Basically, it's like a holding place for all of the information throughout time and space for the entire universe. So like everything that was ever done, said, any person that's ever existed, anything, organism that's ever existed, like across the entire universe, is all stored within these records. And so sometimes people will refer to themselves as readers of the records, or like they can like go be in the records. There is a allegedly a cult leader. We will refer to this person as TS. If you know, you know. Somebody who's said some pretty problematic things, and her credentials that she always cites is that she can access these records whenever she wants. And honestly, if any of my viewers can access these records, if that is somewhere where you like to go and chill on the weekends, like I'm not here to pass judgment on you. That is between you and the aliens that are running the place. But like maybe you could drop a girl some like, I don't know, like lotto numbers would be great. Yeah, just email me with some lotto numbers from the Akashic records. That would be great. Anyway, but yeah, honestly, like, I don't know. It's not even the grandiose claims. Like, it's just this whole, like, that they have to be so special. Like when we talked about the twin flames thing, or like, oh, I'm an empath. Like, I'm an empath, so I sense that this YouTuber is going to trash talk me here for a minute. Like, I shouldn't have to pay so much money for your class just because you're such a special snowflake. And honestly, if you got rich because of magic, then why do I need to pay for these classes anyway? And you can find these spirit coaches just all over the place. I kind of searched around online and found one pretty close to me. And they're offering sessions for like $100 an hour, which, you know, is pretty reasonable if you're talking about like accredited therapy. But like, what are you offering me for this $100 an hour? And you have to sign up for 9 sessions in advance. So that's almost $1,000. If you're asking me to give you $1,000 up front, you need to be very transparent with me about what your qualifications are. And so this is directly from our website. My lived experience as an entrepreneur with over 30 years of business skills, art, writing, and offering spiritual advice, founding an annual arts festival, she doesn't name the festival, and being a coven advisor and founder for over 10 years. This experience has allowed me to share witchery as a way of integrating spirituality for the purposes of achieving goals and living a balanced and joyful life. It comes from my own inherent spiritual familial abilities, my experience, my methodologies. It is inclusive by recognizing the specific individual needs of people of all ages, creeds, cultures, identities. And then she goes on, my teaching experience as an artist and designer at a university, doesn't name the university, as an artist in residence, doesn't name the residency, has allowed me to acquire specific skills with scaffolding or offering a logical progression with skill and capacity building, as well as accommodating individual learning needs in an inclusive and respectful environment. I mean, which all sounds great. And honestly, like, here's the thing, and I think this is the bottom line. Someone with those qualifications would be such a wonderful person to have as a friend. Like, I have friends with really fantastic life experience, work experience, professionalism, and I can call them up and I can ask them for advice. I can have really deep conversations with them. I can vent to them. I can get things off my chest. So it's almost like you are taking someone and you're paying them for something that I feel like maybe is missing in your life if you don't have that as a friend. And it seems like what they're selling over and over again is law of attraction, which is the sort of rebranded prosperity gospel for New Age people. It's ridiculous to put it up behind a paywall because there's already so much information about it out there. And I feel like, where are these people getting the information to put it on their website for you to access behind that paywall? Are they Googling it? Like, where are they getting it from? And I don't think it's from the Akashic records. And let's get into prosperity gospel for just a second. Like, the level of burnout is built in, right? Because you can't just have positive thoughts all the time, right? Like, and then when it when it doesn't work out, then the blame falls completely on you. There's always like an out, like, oh, well, it didn't work because you didn't think positively enough, or you didn't do this enough, or you didn't do that enough. And it's like, no, it probably didn't work because it didn't work. And the universe is sort of sporadic sometimes. Like, some things are just luck. That's like a whole video all on its own. But actually, I saw that Sarah, the Skeptical Witch on YouTube, like just put out a video about the law of attraction. And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but it's probably great. Like, she hasn't steered me wrong yet. So I might just link that video down below. I do want to make my own video about that, but first I got to watch hers and make sure that I'm not like just repeating all the same things that she's saying. But anyway, yes, law of attraction is not good. I would think that it could spur like OCD issues because, like, you know, what if you have a condition where you might, oh, no, you know what? That's a whole other video. Am I almost out of battery? Oh God, okay. It's just frustrating because when you throw something like spiritual in front of something, it seems like there's just no regulation. I mean, that's the way it is in the USA anyway. Like, you know, you have like supplement companies and they can't make health claims, and you have like marketing, like direct marketing companies, direct sales companies, and they can't make income claims. But I swear, if you just put like spiritual in front of it, it's like suddenly you can just do whatever you want. I mean, you put religion into things and then it just becomes really murky and really unregulated. The real secret might be that these folks are just beautiful and charismatic and charming and maybe come from good backgrounds and have good support systems, and that's why they're successful. And that's not something that you can teach me in your online class. And it's kind of like those get-rich-quick schemes where people offer classes on like how to do cryptocurrency and things like that. Like, are you getting rich because you know the secrets of cryptocurrency, or are you getting rich because you're selling a promise in the form of classes? Like, what's the product? The truth is that the product is the life coach. That's what you're buying. People need friends in their life to be able to get advice from and to bounce ideas off of. And I think that can be really insidious when it becomes a transactional relationship. It's really hard not to, you know, become intimate in this way with somebody that you're talking with about these really personal issues. And I think that just makes you really vulnerable. I don't know. I mean, if you need to get a life coach, go get a life coach. If you need somebody to help hold you accountable, maybe like to call you every week and make sure that you are sticking to your goals, like that does sound really good. But I just don't know if that's necessarily a good substitute for actual friendship. And friendship is really, really hard to produce, but maybe it's better just to put in the work to create those friendships than to purchase friends. Like, you know, when you go to university, if you don't want to make friends because you're not really good at it, then you can always buy friends and like join a fraternity or a sorority. I feel like it's the adult version of that. Like, yeah, and is this person your friend? No, they're not your friend, because once you stop paying for the appointments, then they're not going to talk to you again. Like, I don't know, it just leaves you really susceptible to being let down. And then when you do get let down, because none of this is ever sustainable, then the whole system puts the blame on you. And I just feel like that can just put you really down in the dumps. You know, it's like girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep. Like, it's just not a good way to live your life. And it's this whole sunk cost fallacy. Like, the classes are really expensive on purpose, because once you've invested that amount of money, then you are going to tell your brain that, yes, this is good, this is worth it. You'll recommend it to other people. Yeah, it's the sunk cost fallacy. You have to justify it to yourself. You've invested the money already. So of course, like, it's working out really well for you. So, I mean, if you want to get a life coach, go out and get a spiritual life coach. But just obviously, like with everything else we talk about on this channel, just because we slap a witchcraft sticker onto it doesn't make it inherently better than other types of life coaching. And just be really skeptical about it, and don't let yourself get carried away. I absolutely do not want to, you know, shame women for having businesses. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. Like, I'm not jealous and trying to like put hate out there to other people. But it's just, you know, something to think about, and something that's definitely going on. Okay, so I feel like I have communicated my feelings on the matter. I don't know if any of that was enlightening. If you agree or disagree, throw that down in the comments. And I have some fun project ideas that I've been working on. I'm also redoing my spare room to make it a really nice witchy space. That project will take literally forever because I have to stop and start all the time, and I really haven't made very much progress on it at all. So maybe I'll make a video about it, but don't expect anything until, like, I don't know, the middle of summer. Okay, well, until next time, I will see you later. Bye!